May 3rd, 1861, I'm mapping out how we're going to absolutely body the Confederacy, and nobody thinks my plan is bussin'. They're calling it the Anaconda Plan like it's some kind of joke. But after 47 years in uniform and literally writing the book in military tactics, I know this rebellion isn't ending in 90 days with a quick march to Richmond like everyone thinks. This is going to be a long, brutal slog, and we need a real strategy, not just vibes. My name is General Winfield Scott, and this is the AP US History My Story podcast. So here's the team. My three-part strategy is low-key genius, even if nobody appreciates it yet. First, we blockade every southern port from Virginia to Texas. That's 3,500 miles of coastline, bruh. Cut off their trade, stop them from selling cotton to Europe, and watch their economy literally die. Second, we take control of the Mississippi River, splitting the Confederacy in half. And third, this is the part that has everyone pressed. We raise an army of 500,000 men and train them properly before we even think about marching on Richmond. The newspapers are absolutely dragging me right now. They're drawing cartoons of a snake slowly squeezing the South and acting like that's somehow bad. Like, yeah, that's the freaking point. I'm telling Lincoln straight up, this is going to take 3 years minimum, and we need to be real about that. The politicians hate me for it. The press is calling me old fuss and feathers and saying I'm too old, too slow, too cautious. I'm 74 and literally so heavy I can't mount a horse anymore, but my brain still works better than these glory-seeking idiots. And then Bull Run happens in July. Exactly what I warned them about. All these untrained volunteers get absolutely wrecked by the Confederates, and suddenly everyone's like, oh wait, maybe Scott had a point. But does anyone apologize? Absolutely not. AP students need to understand that my plan became the blueprint for Northern victory after they forced me to retire in November 1861. They called it total war, but it's just my Anaconda Plan in steroids. The naval blockade that strangled Southern trade, that was part one of my plan, and it reduced Confederate exports by 95% by 1864. When Grant takes Vicksburg in 1863, cutting the Confederacy in half along the Mississippi, that's part two. If they had only listened to my part three, we would have taken more time to prepare and kept the South from having any easy victories like they did at Bull Run. Every single element of how the Union won this war traces back to what I drew up. What really grinds my gears is how people didn't understand that modern war isn't about single decisive battles. It's about resources, logistics, and systematically destroying your enemy's ability to fight. The North's advantages in industry, railroads, and manpower meant we could fight a long war of attrition. The South, they needed the quick victories and foreign recognition. My plan understood the assignment: use our strengths, exploit their weaknesses, and squeeze them until they couldn't continue. Going back to November 1861, the political pressure got too intense and I resigned, passing command to McClellan, who takes credit for my ideas while calling me senile behind my back. I spend the rest of the war in retirement watching other generals slowly realize everything I said was facts. I die in 1866, and President Grant later admits the Anaconda Plan was the most brilliant strategy of the war. The really wild part is that my plan became the template for American military strategy for the next century. Economic warfare, naval blockades, industrial mobilization. That's literally how we won both world wars. I understood the assignment, and my strategic vision invented modern American warfare. Like, follow, and share the AP US History My Story podcast, because these stories hit different when you hear the original voices that shaped our country.